From this to this, and back to this. The story of a garden that almost wasn't. Hello viewers, and welcome back for the mid-August update. And we have to start with the undisputed success story of this summer. These incredible sunflowers. They are enormous, towering over everything in the garden, and just starting to open up. A really wonderful sight to see. We have so much to get through today. First, we'll take a detailed tour of the main vegetable garden, where we'll look at the good, the bad, and the very ugly story of the brassica patch. But we'll end with a lovely harvest. Then we'll head into the Polytunnel for some successes. And finally, we'll finish up with a check-in on the chickens. So grab a cup of tea. This will be a bit of a journey. Let's get started. And looking around now at the leeks, and the beetroot, it's hard to imagine that just a few weeks ago the disappointment was so intense I was genuinely ready to pack it all in for the year. It was a real disaster zone. So today, before we get to that big harvest, I want to take you back and tell the story of what happened. So let's go back a few weeks to mid-July. The cabbage white caterpillar invasion was swift, and it was brutal. They didn't just go for the nasturtiums I'd planted to try and protect everything. They decimated the cabbages, broccoli, the cauliflower, the turnips, and even the radishes. It was a complete wipeout. And this for me was the most gutting part. During that intense heat wave, I'd moved these beautiful tiny Savoy seedlings out of the polytunnel to protect them. I put them here, under what I thought was secure netting, and the very act of trying to save them from the heat is what doomed them. The butterflies found a way in, and the caterpillars had a feast. The entire autumn brassica plan was gone, just like that. The only small mercy was that most of the radishes had already developed before their leaves were annihilated, so at least I could pull these. But honestly, it just felt like salvaging treasure from a shipwreck. It wasn't a win, it just felt sad. And then, to add insult to injury, after the scorching heat, the weather turned. The rain finally came. And with the rain came the second wave. The slugs and snails came out in force. It felt like the garden was under siege from all angles. And looking at all of this, the caterpillar devastation, and now this new onslaught of slugs and snails, that's when I hit my low point. I was just deflated. I stood here and seriously thought about quitting the garden for this year. I thought about just packing it all in. I couldn't see any positives, and the motivation was completely, utterly gone. And then, when I was at my lowest, I forced myself to walk away from the failure and just think about what, if anything, wasn't a disaster. The first thing I thought about was the polytunnel. I remembered the melon I'd literally just harvested a day or two before. It was a definite, tangible success. It was real proof that I could still grow things. And that led me to think about the big gamble, the potatoes. A complete unknown hiding under the soil. But the thought of that potential big harvest was the one future win I could hold on to. That's what made me go and do the test rummage under the container soil. I just had to know there was a promise of something good to come. Finding these first few potatoes, that was everything. It wasn't a huge harvest, not yet, but it was a promise. Between the certainties of the melon that was already picked and the promise of the potatoes still to come, it was just enough. It was enough to make me not quit. And I'm so glad I didn't quit, because today, that potato gamble from the flashback, The one that gave me just enough hope to carry on. Well, today the payoff begins. It's the evening now. I've just got home from work and found a spare moment to make a start on the big potato harvest. There's no special horticultural reason for cutting the tops back at this time of day. It's simply the first chance I've had. The job is to get all of this top growth cut back. Last year, our final weight was just over 42 pounds, and I'd absolutely love to beat that this time around. This will just make the buckets much easier to handle when it comes to the main event in a couple of days. There, that's the preparation done. Now, I'm going to leave these for a couple of days. This just helps the skins on the potatoes to cure and harden up a little before we turn them out. It's the final bit of patience needed. Alright, 2 days have passed, the skins have had time to set, and I can't wait any longer. Let's see if that promise was real. Let's get them harvested. So the process is simple. I'll tip the contents of each bucket into the wheelbarrow. This lets me break up all the clumps of compost so I can better see the potatoes. Then it's a treasure hunt to find all of them. Once I've got them, the spent compost goes straight back into the bucket, ready to be refreshed for next year. Now just 19 more to go. This is the part that is so rewarding. It's like being a child again, finding all these hidden treasures. You just never know what you're going to get. Okay, that's every bucket sorted. Here's the result of all that work. Now to get all of it into one sack so we can get a final accurate weight. Alright, this is it. The whole harvest of Sapo Mira potatoes is in this one sack. We know the target to beat is 42 pounds. After everything that happened in July, a big win here would be just fantastic. Let's see what we've got. 46.45 pounds. 46.5 pounds. Yes, that is brilliant. So that's an improvement of around £4 on last year, which is a definite win. I'm really chuffed with that. It may have been even more if I'd used all 20 buckets, But remember, one of them was that wonky store-bought variety. So this is a result from just 19 buckets. To still achieve an increase in weight, I will absolutely take that. What a fantastic result. With that incredible success banked, let's have a look around the rest of the recovering garden. Right here, between the two failed brassica beds, is this incredible sweet corn. It's a perfect reminder that even when one thing fails, something else can be thriving right next to it. It's at least 5 feet tall now and has started to tassel, which is a fantastic sight to see. Speaking of mixed results, the fruit trees have had their summer prune. The cherry tree, I'm afraid, was a complete write-off this year thanks to aphids, but we've learned from it. We've introduced a lot more ladybirds into the garden, and with the bug hotel for them to overwinter in, I'm very hopeful that next year the tree will be much better protected. The plum tree, however, is bearing some fruit. It's not a massive crop by any means, but for this tree, after years of getting almost nothing, seeing these develop is a definite win in my book. Now, let's head into the polytunnel, because I think something special in here is almost ready to harvest. This melon has been growing for weeks, and I think today is the day. And as the fruit gets so heavy, I've been supporting it in this netting to take the strain off the vine. So the first job is to carefully cut it free from its little hammock. There we go. And that is a beautiful looking melon. And with that, it just comes away from the stem. Perfect. But the real test is the smell. Oh yes, that's got an incredible, sweet, musky aroma. Let's get this inside and see what it looks like. This is always the best part. The moment of truth. Oh, look at that. A beautiful deep orange colour, and it's absolutely dripping with juice. You just can't beat the smell of a homegrown melon. That is another definite success. And while the melon is the star today, the rest of the polytunnel is still producing beautifully. We're getting a steady supply of tomatoes. They've really recovered well from their own rough start to the year. And the cucumbers are still giving us a few every week. It really has been the powerhouse of the garden this summer. And of course, no update is complete without checking on the team members, who are completely untroubled by all the drama. They are all happy, healthy, and enjoying the last of the summer. And are very much looking forward to any slugs I might find for them. So there it is, from aphids and caterpillars almost making me quit in July, to this incredible harvest in August. It's a story of a real garden with real problems, but also real rewards. It's the perfect proof that you should never, ever give up on a season. Thank you for joining me on this very honest tour. If you've ever had a garden disaster like this, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. A thumbs up is always appreciated, and please subscribe so you don't miss what we do with all these potatoes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.